Hello, hello, hello.
Hi, everyone.
I'm laughing because I was all ready and then I just realized I don't know where my images are to color. So you
Oh,
just check
no.
for a minute, Kelly. They're here
All
somewhere. Give
right.
me a
All
second.
right. Well, I think everyone's joining us now. You're probably hearing fire trucks here. There's a fire going on here in Southern California. So we're hearing a lot of that. We're right next to one. Oh, my goodness. And Jen's looking for her
Found
things.
them.
I'm always, hey.
It's there's a lot of upcoming classes. There's a lot of
Oh my
upcoming
gosh.
classes.
Yeah. There's a lot to look through. Trust me. I was just looking. I couldn't find my black licorice ink. And I'm like, oh, my goodness. That's the main ink. You want to know why I couldn't find it? Because I put it away.
That's just
It was
crazy.
where it should be, and I never put things away, so I didn't think to look there.
It is Friday the 13th too. So who knows what's gonna happen tonight.
I know. I'm glad we're making like spooky Halloween cards on Friday the 13th.
Yeah. Although they're not super
They're
spooky.
not spooky. They're
Yeah,
lawnfawn spooky, which is a different kind of
exactly.
cute spooky.
So thank you everybody for joining us tonight. I'm Jen Shirkus and we have Kelly Marie. So this is our free mini Create With Us classes. And these are so fun. We've been doing these for a couple years now. And the idea behind it is just to kind of help boost maybe some creative ideas, get you guys to use maybe some of the new supplies you got from the new release. If you didn't know, there is a downloadable handout over on Lawnfawn's website. There's a link at the bottom of the screen in the grass, and I know Rebecca and Shari are behind the scenes. They'll be posting links in the chat as well. If you're watching this on replay, the link is in the description of the video. If you didn't know these existed, there's many past Create With Us mini classes that you can go back and watch and still get all the handouts. They're just a lot of fun. I'm excited.
Yes, and here is the handout for today. So this is what it looks like. And so if you haven't printed it out yet, or you can also just like bring it up on your laptop screen or your tablet, but it's right there. You can just follow that link that Rebecca and Shari will put in the comments, and you'll be able to see this. That's Rebecca.
Sorry.
Okay, so I'm going to flip the screen. So you'll be seeing my table tonight.
Oh, look at your nails. They match.
I have to say, I was excited. I took a few minutes today. It's been a little bit of a crazy week, but I was like, you know what? I'm going to take a few minutes and breathe and do a mani to match my cards because I'm obsessed with this color scheme. So,
Oh my gosh, me too. It is so cute. I have to clean my glasses. I have little
so
tiny,
I want to
tiny
just
color prints on this thing.
I want to just share. I hear a lot of times people are like, well, I don't really make Halloween cards because I don't have any kids to give them to, whether they've grown up or whatever reason. But I just want to let you guys all know that we can all be kids at heart and still enjoy Halloween. And what I love about these cards is they're perfect to send to friends and family. They're a little bit of a different color scheme, so they're not screaming Halloween. And I just encourage you guys to still have fun and play. I don't know, there's something about Halloween that just makes me so happy. It's like the whole make believe behind it. Like, we might not be dressing up anymore, but it's still fun.
It's so fun. I also think too, like it's the perfect kind of holiday where you're gonna really surprise someone if you send them a card. Do you know what I
Oh,
mean?
yeah.
Like, right? So I love that. Like, I love that you could really surprise someone and kind of make their day by sending them a card. Also, as we use the stamp set, when we designed this stamp set, we designed it so that it would work outside of Halloween too. So we can talk about how to take these cute designs and even use them with different sentiments to work all throughout the year as well.
Yeah. Like this card alone, you could just change the color schemes. You can make this a rainbow card. You can make this all teals and monochromatic, and it would totally not be as Halloween feeling if you wanted to send it another time of year. So I think that is just really, really fun. All right. So the way that we start Create With Us classes is we start with our coloring. And if you are playing along with us tonight, let us know in the chat. And if you're just here for the chat, that's cool too. No worries there. So on your handout, if you did do prep work for class, I'm carefully taking my images apart because they've been stored away. I shared that I put my images on best ever craft tape. So this will help so that I can hold on to those little pieces when we're coloring. And I encouraged you guys to kind of put your white cardstock pieces on a separate piece of tape. And you'll kind of see why once we get to coloring those. But let's go ahead and start with our stamped images first. I am going to be using Copic markers tonight, which are alcohol-based markers. But I always share a swatch list for you guys. This way you can use whatever coloring medium you would like, whatever brand of alcohol-based markers, colored pencils, whatever works for you. And then also part of the handout, which Kelly was just showing, is coloring guides. So I'm going to be following along with these coloring guides that are in the free downloadable handout over on Lawnfawn's website. If you've taken any of my online classes, you know I always provide these coloring guides. And again, they're really helpful no matter what you're coloring with. I think they're just a good starting off point. So we're going to start with the spiders. Those W warm gray markers are really forgiving and easy and a good way to kind of get warmed up and get going. So I'm going to be using W6 and W4, which are just, they're fairly dark grays, not super dark. I wanted to be able to still see the stamped lines once I colored them. And I'm going to start with the hanging down little spider right here, which I think I just saw in the chat. Somebody said, no spiders. I don't want spiders in my house. I don't really want any bugs in my house except for lawnfawn bugs because they're just really, really cute.
Oh man, I already lost my spider.
So I'm shadowing the left side of this guy, and then I'm just going to dab a little bit of this W6 at the base of all of his arms and legs. They're teeny tiny, but adding a little bit of dimension really does kind of make a difference and giving kind of a realistic look. And we'll go ahead and shadow the other two spiders at the same time, kind of while we're working on it. The spider with the little Halloween hat, I am going to dab a little bit of the W6 at the tops of his arms and legs. And then I'm just kind of going in between those arms and legs and adding some basically along that whole base of that little spider. And then the witch's hat is going to just be straight W6, dark gray. How is everybody tonight?
I know
we have a lot of people from all over.
I know a lot of people. Some people are joining us just to watch and be cozy. Some people are crafting. I love it. And looks like someone's son loves the swatches, which is awesome.
Yay.
Someone said they'd rather find a lawnfawn spider by their foot than a real one.
Yes.
I fully agree with that.
And then someone also had a really good idea that you could also send Halloween cards to senior citizen assistive care establishments, which I think would be such a sweet idea.
Oh, that's a great idea.
I know. Has everyone, I think my son, I think he's picked his costume. He wants to be the world. He's obsessed with countries and planets. So he wants to be like a globe. But now he wants to draw his own countries on it. So we'll see. We'll see. I'm very excited.
That's fun.
I know. So, because the one that I found doesn't have the countries. It's just the continents.
Oh, right.
Yeah. And so he might draw his own countries onto them. So it'll be really fun. And I think he wants me to be a giraffe.
I always like actually more to hear what he picks for you. I'm not gonna lie.
Last year he picked fall leaves for me.
Yep.
Which
You were such a good mom that you give into this stuff.
It's so
because I never would.
It's so sweet. And he picked fall leaves. And his costume last year he picked was ostrich. And he was the cutest ostrich there's ever been.
He was an adorable ostrich.
He was a very cute ostrich. And so he was an ostrich. And when he put the costume on and he saw himself, it was like the biggest, happiest smile I've ever seen that he got to be an ostrich. So sweet. And he told, Mom, you love fall leaves. You should just be them. So I got like a fall leaves t-shirt from Etsy. And then I got fall leaves from the craft store and ribbons. And I like made a belt and then put the ribbons hanging down and then hot glued all the fall leaves to make like a fall leaf skirt. So that was my fall leaf costume. So I'd love to hear if anyone's kids have ever done like funny costumes. Like one time I heard where someone's kid wanted to be purple. Like I love that.
Oh, that's fun.
Like these funny, cute things. So I would love to hear if you guys, or you had your own favorite costume that you've worn.
Well, so in our new home, because we just bought a home and moved in February, our neighborhood is just so much more friendly and welcoming than our last neighborhood we were in. Nothing was wrong with our last neighborhood, but everybody kind of kept to themselves. And here we like know all of our neighbors and there's like actually a decent amount of kids. So I'm very excited to have trick-or-treaters. Like I love Halloween. And I think I'm going to make Chris like sit outside with me because I don't want to keep opening the door and scare Jack and Gus, my two kitties. But I just think it's going to be so fun. I'm actually getting really excited about it.
That's what Mike and I used to always do too, because of our dogs, you know, all the doorbell. So we have kind of a long walkway up to our door. So I would just sit at the end of the walkway and see all the kids go by. My neighborhood used to have a lot of little kids. It doesn't anymore. But at one point, I swear there was like hundreds of kids and it was just the
my gosh. Thing. It's just fun. I'm excited.
Yeah. And I gave any kid who had like an 80s inspired costume, they would get extra candy. I didn't tell them, but you know, if you were like, you know, strawberry shortcake or a Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle, then you got extra candy, you know?
Yeah, right. I saw that Shari said that that's what her and Matt do, so it doesn't disturb Scout. So yeah, definitely.
Yeah, Halloween is like Halloween and 4th of July are the two like dogs just not the best.
Trick-or-treaters, so.
Luckily, the cats didn't mind the fireworks, but I do know they would just not like the door opening and closing. So,
oh my gosh, I'm loving reading people's costumes, like Papa Smurf and Smurfette, or someone being a chicken. It's so cute.
Oh my gosh, that's so fun.
And are you gonna dress as a mermaid, Jen?
I could. I mean, if you guys saw that reel that Shari and I did, I mean, I got the parts ready.
Yeah, right.
I didn't think of that.
Oh my gosh,
Chris actually could be a merman because he has that costume.
Oh my gosh, amazing.
Oh, he's gonna love now that not only are we gonna have to sit outside all night, I'm now gonna make
he's got to dress up.
Someone's daughter was static cling.
I love that
and
one.
had the socks pinned all over her. It's so cute.
Oh my gosh, that's so creative.
Somebody had a rainbow bright costume, which I loved. Oh my gosh, I wasn't Rainbow Bright, but I loved her.
I had a Rainbow Bright.
I was really into the 1960s Batman movie as a kid.
Oh.
So at the time, the Michael Keaton Batman movies hadn't come out yet. So like kids didn't really know Batman much. And of course, I loved Catwoman from the movie. So my grandmother made me a Catwoman costume that matched like,
oh my gosh, that's cool.
Exactly the Catwoman from the 1960s. And then everyone at school made fun of me. They're like, what are you? I'm a Catwoman. There's no such thing as Catwoman. I was like, yeah, there is. Like, I'm Catwoman. She's from Batman. And everyone's like, no. And then the next year that like Michelle Pfeiffer with the cat as Catwoman came out. And then everybody was Catwoman. I was like, yeah. So that was
cool. You were cool before.
I mean, I was also the 1960s Catwoman, which was probably why a bunch of like 4th graders didn't know who I was. But I love that costume. Even if
so 2 things I just want to mention. I've moved on. I'm coloring all the pinky reds. And the color combo I'm personally using is mostly R35 and R32. And then there's a couple times I'm throwing an R20 in there to get a real good highlight. So I'm trying to keep it on screen as I'm coloring. Remember, we do have those coloring guides, But I also just wanted to mention, I just saw Scrappy Chic in the house. Scrappy Chic is located in Michigan, and I'm going to throw up a slide real quick, Kelly.
Yeah.
So I will be at Scrappy Chic and in Michigan and Papercraft Clubhouse in Connecticut in October. Registration for these classes are already open, so you can sign up now by contacting the stores. And I'll be teaching these 2 exclusive classes just to in-person stores. We're going to be doing Autumn Breeze and Coffee Please. And we're also going to be doing Sweet Holiday Wishes. So I have all of the details over on my website. You can kind of link up to Scrappy Chic and Papercraft Clubhouse by heading to my site. And I would absolutely love to see you guys in Michigan or Connecticut. So now I'm just trying to get my screens back up to be the 3 of us. Bear with me.
Oh my goodness. And while you're doing that, Jen, I want to mention someone says that they do a fire pit and the kids can roast marshmallows for s'mores, and people have been coming their whole life to that. I think that is so cool.
Oh my gosh, I love that. I absolutely love that.
Oh, wonderful. That's so exciting. You're doing all those classes, Jen. I'm hoping that people.
I'm very excited. I love,
if you're from the area, you got to go check it out.
For sure. Scrappy Chic and Papercraft Clubhouse have such a great variety of products, and they're so fun. Renee is the owner of Scrappy Chic, and Tracy is the owner of Papercraft Clubhouse, and they're pretty awesome.
They are amazing.
All right, I'm coloring my little peppermint candy, which doesn't have to be a peppermint. I'm just kind of alternating that R35, R32 on the little swirls.
I don't usually use R20 with these, and it looks so pretty.
Yeah, I think I used it on the larger candies just to give a little bit more of a highlight.
Yeah, I love it.
I was on a roll with this color scheme, let me tell you.
I love it. I like the pink and orange. I think pink Halloween, it seems to be kind of a big trend this year.
It really is, and very rarely am I like trendy, so I'm feeling pretty proud of myself. I'm not gonna lie.
There's somebody in the comments whose friend makes bags of homemade chocolate for the kids, and adults get homemade apple pie shops. I want to go to that house.
Oh my gosh!
I want both. I want the homemade chocolate and the
wow.
Right?
My neighborhood, people go all out, and we have to drive to this street. It's not right by my house, but there's one street where all the houses go all out and have different, like there's a Sleepy Hollow theme, and someone has the Harry Potter theme, and they have little butter beers.
Oh, that's a good
that
one
they
too,
make
yeah.
that you get, and it's a whole Harry Potter theme. It's very cute. So we always go and drive over to, because like I said, my neighborhood now, there's not as many kids, so we go and drive over to that neighborhood and enjoy all of their decorations, which are so cool.
That is super cool.
Taking him out, well, not his first Halloween because he was too little, but ever since his second Halloween, we've been going to that neighborhood.
That's really fun. Now, I saw in the comments a couple people are saying that Michigan and Connecticut are a little too far for them. So I'm going to put up another slide. I'm so prepared tonight.
So prepared.
I'm going to put up another slide. For those of you where Michigan and Connecticut might be a little too far, I also have 3 online classes so far. I have actually another one that will be coming out, but 3 that are available for registration now. No Tricks, All Treats is using a lot of the same supplies we're using tonight. So if you're creating along with us tonight and you want some more inspiration, more coloring guides, and just more guidance to create some more fun cards, join me for that. And then Shari and I are teaching another East Coast Fawnies class, Harvest Friends. If you don't know, we are slightly obsessed with Mr. Harvest, the scarecrow in Happy Harvest. And we are just so excited that he now has a friend, you Crow Girl. So we will be teaching together online. I believe that is September 21st. And then I just released the details for Butterfly in the Sky, which I will be teaching in October. And that is using the new Little Woodland Library stamp set. What I love about that class is each of the cards are very uniquely different from each other. And really, I would say only one of them is like a fall-ish card. The other ones are great for all year round. And so it's just going to be a really great class where you could make a bunch of these cards and share them all year round. So I'm very excited.
Amazing.
Right.
That's fun. You Crow Girl is so cute.
Oh my gosh. I'm so excited that she exists. All right.
Oh my goodness. Someone has 100 different people come to their neighborhood. There's all sorts of fun Halloween things that people do. Oh my gosh.
Oh my gosh. I love it. Are you okay, Miss Rebecca?
It's on constant.
Yeah, Rebecca and I are still, I know you guys were so patient with our intro videos, and we're both still recovering.
Rebecca just still coughs and coughs.
Yeah. Mine, I still do a little bit, but nowhere near as bad as Rebecca. Although I guess I am about 2 weeks ahead of you in the recovery process. Yeah. But
considering I was coughing all last fall, I feel really bad. I feel your pain.
Yeah, you coughed for like months.
Well, yeah, and then it came out that I have asthma. So I'm like, oh.
Yeah. Welcome to the club.
Yeah. Welcome to getting old.
Exactly.
Yeah. Well, yep, I'm an asthma girl myself, so I get it. Yeah, that's why I think I ended up with the pneumonia, because I guess when you have asthma, you can turn it into that. I don't recommend. Definitely do not recommend.
So when I did these little swirly lollipops, I'm just using a very, 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 very light hand. And I just kind of trace the swirl with that R35, that red. And then I go over that with the R32 with a little bit more pressure. So it ends up being a thicker line. And then whatever's left white is where I just kind of went in with a little R20 just to kind of switch it up. And then the sticks I did with the gray from the spiders, W4. Super cute.
So cute.
Oh my God. Oh, and then while we have the pinks out, I use the R32 just to do the band on the little witch's hat. Because why not, right? So now I'm going to pull out my oranges. And for orange, I actually used YR18, YR14. A little bit of a different orange combo for me.
YR18 and 14. And I've been using these more recently as well.
You know what I think has inspired it is the fall papers.
Ooh, yeah, because the orange from that is that's so true. Now I gotta pull out those papers and see.
At least that's what inspired me.
And I have this like crazy drawer. Here we go. Of 6x6 pads. That's just chaos. Yep. Yeah. Look at that.
Yeah. Yep. It's funny. I have a 12x12 lawnfawn box over behind me, and I'll show you guys. And it's open, and because I tend to use the 12x12 papers for kitting purposes, and it's that's all just paper. It's like cut bits, full sheets. Like, it's so funny.
Yeah, I have like an insane number of 6x6 pads in one drawer.
Yeah.
They're all like just bits and pieces, because I've been using them.
It's a treat for me to be able to use the 6x6s. I love them because of the mini print. But again, when you're making a bajillion kits for things.
Yeah, when you're doing, the same for us. We make a lot of cards for our all of our amazing stores. And we have to use a 12x12 because we're
Yep.
We've got to make hundreds of them.
That's why I love that you guys have both. It works out really great.
I know. Well, and sometimes I just need the like the scale. It just depends on what you're making.
Yep,
I want,
for sure.
No?
For sure. So I actually saw a couple people today using the lawnfawn hashtag, and they were posting summer cards because they're still holding on to summer. And I was like, yes, good job.
I love that. Yeah. I mean, we just had like the world's, I think it was the hottest I've ever felt it at my house, heat wave.
Yeah. So maybe let me know in the comments, or let us know in the comments, like, are you all ready for fall? Or are you like still enjoying summer? Now, I know if you're in the part of the world that is very, very hot, I'm sure you're looking forward to fall. I get it.
Yes, we are desperate for it. Today it was cooler and it was so lovely.
But here in New England, I mean, we hold on to summer as long as we can.
Yeah, us here in Southern California do not understand what that weather is.
Someone was saying prayers for everyone impacted by the wildfires. Thank you so much. Same goes out from us to everybody here. We've been very lucky here at lawnfawn that we're right outside the evacuation zone. But obviously our thoughts or prayers are with everyone. So everyone, please stay safe.
Yes.
Let's see. All right.
Laura says, yes, September is the best month. I agree.
Yeah, someone said that why does this release make them want to buy a bunch of candy? That's exactly that's what, when Erica made this set, I just loved it because she because I love the idea of that the web is catching the candy. I don't know. I just think it's just so adorable. It's just so fun. So I'm glad that you guys like it too. And that's what I think is so cute because it can kind of go for birthday. It could go, there's the whole sentiment that says, I'm glad we met on the web, which I cannot wait to make a card like that for Halloween, even though I'd met my husband and band, not on the web, but I just think it's so funny. I need to like give it to someone that they can then give it to their significant other. Cause I just think it's the cutest thing to have the little spiders, you know?
Oh, Beth just put in the comments, kitty sighting. Yeah, you must have saw Jack walk by.
Oh, did he walk by?
Yeah, well, Chris is not home right now, so I had a feeling he'd probably pop in more because he's probably like, hello, why? Oh yeah, Nikki just said kitty alert. Hi, Jack or Gus. He's probably like, why is nobody hanging out with me in the living room? It's definitely Jack. I don't think it's Gus. I'll keep an eye out.
Does Gus not come in as much for?
He does a little bit, but he just doesn't move around as much. He is so comfy on the back of the couch that it's very rare for him to move. I love that. I actually just showed Y17 and Y15 on the screen, and I apologize. In my coloring guide, I actually used Y38 and Y15. So if you're yelling at your screen telling me I'm showing the wrong colors, thank you for letting me know. Y38 and Y17 are very close, but I just wanted to mention that. So this is pretty easy coloring tonight because in a minute we're going to get to coloring those white cardstock pieces, which might make some of you a little nervous, but hopefully once I show you kind of how I do it, it won't be so scary. And I just thought it was a fun way to show you how you can add color to your die cut pieces. Maybe if you don't want to ink blend or do a million or cut them out of pattern paper or what have you. So we'll get to that in just a minute. But this part of the coloring is pretty easy.
I'm coloring the chocolate bar, and I have a piece of chocolate cake in the fridge, and now it's making me think about it.
Now it's like calling your name.
I know we treated ourselves today, Rebecca and I. We ordered some yummy food.
Yes.
Well, it is your birthday week, Kelly. So happy belated birthday. So you can actually have cake.
I know, right? Yeah, we didn't end up going out because of all the fires. So I can have my cake now. We're going to celebrate next week. So
There you go.
yeah.
Well, I think it's a birthday month anyways. So
There you go.
My birthday falls so close to Mother's Day. A lot of the times my friends, can't get together or, whatever. So I just say I have a whole birthday month of May and then it just works out.
I like that. Yeah, Mike's birthday is in September too. So it kind of turns out that way sometimes. We're like, oh, okay, we'll just celebrate our birthdays together, and then it kind of just extends it, So it's kind of cool.
Yep.
Yeah, we're a whole year and then like 13 days apart.
Is he younger or older?
He's younger.
Okay.
By a year.
Well, I knew you were a year younger than me, so I wasn't sure.
Yeah, so yeah,
he's
even. Yeah, we kind of fill in all the years here.
Yeah. So I'm doing the chocolate bar, and what I did is just took the E27 and I went around the frame kind of the grid of the chocolate, and then I just filled in those little squares with E23.
I like that. It looks really cute.
I'm pretending this is dark chocolate because that's my favorite.
Oh, me too. We really should have come prepared with candy.
I know, right?
Well, yeah, Rebecca likes things that are too sweet. She says I don't like her candy. She likes things that are too sweet.
I've got lots of candy in here.
I know, like the nerd clusters. I like it. I just can only have like one or two, and then I'm like, okay.
Oh, I like nerd clusters. Share those with me, Rebecca.
So good. You see the Halloween ones?
Oh, we can show
I
them.
didn't know that there's Halloween ones.
Oh, now you know what you're doing tomorrow.
Uh-oh, yep. I gotta go to CVS.
I'll show them without me on camera.
Ooh, fun.
Right?
Yep. I'll have to go get some.
Yeah, there's,
Now, hold on one second.
Hey, actually I got everyone done here.
Well, I just have to bring up my handout because for the white cardstock pieces, I forgot to actually write the things on my coloring guide. 1 second, you guys.
Here, and I'll grab it.
Real life crafting over here. Real life crafting.
I cannot get my computer to stop doing double-sided.
Oh, thank you. Yeah.
The Y15, Y38, and the YR14.
I just want to make sure I follow it so I don't mix anybody up. Okay, got it.
Oh, are we supposed to have more than? No, we're only supposed to have one white goo, but other glitter goo, right?
Yes, correct. Yeah.
Okay.
Because I couldn't resist a little glitter goo.
Oh, thank you guys for the birthday wishes. I appreciate it. I like it. So people are joking about September birthdays. Yeah. So my birthday is September 10th. And it's, I think it's the either first or second most common birthday. And fun fact, at lawnfawn at one point, there were 3 people that had their birthday September 10th.
Oh my God.
Not anymore. Only one, but there was 3 of us. And I would say that 80% of lawnfawn's birthday is August, end of August, September. Yeah.
That's so funny. I don't know anybody who has a birthday in August.
Yeah, we have a couple people at the end.
My son.
Oh yeah, Rebecca's son. Yeah, but yeah, so September 10th is actually one of the most popular birthdays.
I did not know that.
Yeah, I guess
what was 9 months?
Yeah, it's New Year's, Christmas.
Oh,
yeah. Oh yeah.
And I'm like doing the math. I'm like, what's 9 months? Yeah, okay, that makes sense.
Although I was asleep, but.
So I'm just going to kind of explain what we're doing here. So these are the 4 colors I'm going to be using. Kind of a really dark orange, a lighter orange. I'm using Y38 as a dark yellow and then Y15 as a light yellow. And so I think it's really kind of fun how we can add color to our die cut pieces with our markers or colored pencils Or you could have cut these out of watercolor cardstock and used watercoloring as well. Again, just something different and fun to share with you guys tonight. But I approach it the same way that I would if it was a stamped image. So I'm going to take my darker marker, that YR18, and I'm going to kind of shadow the right side. Now, this is why I had you guys put this on different tape, because I'm actually like going off my image and really making sure I get those edges so I won't have any white cardstock edges. So I actually like colored onto my tape a little bit. And this piece of tape, when I'm done, I will throw away because I just don't want any of that marker to transfer onto anything else. And then I'm going to take my YR14, and the first thing I'm going to do is just concentrate on blending the two together. So everywhere I put my darker orange, my YR18. Now, this is obviously a lot larger than most Lawn Fawn stamped images, so it is going to take a minute to saturate the cardstock if you're using alcohol-based markers and get the two to blend together. But you'll see what I'm doing is just staying in one little area and continually swiping. And that's really what's helping saturate that cardstock so that the two can blend together. And I'm only concentrating like on that shadowed area. Okay, so it'll kind of look like this. And then sticking with that YR14, I'm going to just kind of put one layer of it to kind of fill this in a little bit more, because the next color we're going to use is the Y38, which is a lot lighter. And I really just want that as a highlight. But by using this medium color, this YR14, and just doing one layer of it, it's going to be much lighter than what we just did for our blending. And don't worry if it looks choppy right now. We'll fix that in just a minute. So now I have this little bit of white area left. This is where I'm going to bring in that dark yellow or light orange, whatever you want to call it. And we're going to go ahead and fill that in. And again, don't be afraid to swipe the edges of your cardstock so we don't have any white edges showing. Okay. And now what we want to do is just kind of look and be like, okay, is there any choppiness between the colors? And what I'm going to do is I'm going to go back to my YR14, that medium color. I'm actually going to flip my bubbling yumminess out of upside down. And I'm just going to kind of flick my marker or swipe my marker just to kind of soften those choppy spots.
And you're doing that with the YR, the medium shade, the
medium shade. Yep, whatever you use for your medium shade, which for me was the YR14. And then you have this really fun, and I do think you can get a lot more dimension than if we were ink blending by using your markers, because you can be a little bit more precise on where you lay down the shadow and kind of where your highlight is. I just think it's kind of cool, something different to do.
Yeah.
And
I love doing it. I'm going to, because I did one with green, I want to show you guys too.
Like this. And this is from the bits from the cauldron, which if I was very prepared, I would have it to show you. I think I have it right here.
Oh, it's in Kelly. This one. Up here. Oh, there it is. Sorry. Oh, so I'm like, wait.
Yeah, this one I did the same thing with markers.
Oh, cool. Oh, yeah. See? I love it.
And I did it almost exactly like yours without knowing.
I know, that's so funny.
I just added little like dots with like the medium green.
Yep.
Around it looked like gooier.
Kelly, do you have the Build a Cauldron die nearby?
Yes, I do.
I was going to show it for those that maybe didn't prep, just so they know what we're using. And I just have so much stuff everywhere in this room.
In here. Oh, this is perfect. I actually have it on a separate one and everything.
Oh, perfect. Thank you.
Yeah. So I love this side. Well, and here you can see the whole the whole thing in action
Yeah.
here.
And this dye is what inspired me wanting to do a little bit more of a Halloween create with us. Is I was like, I really want to use the cauldron. Kelly and I were talking about it when we were in Vegas together for a trade show.
Yeah, we should maybe someone, Ishari or Rebecca, can link to the intro video for we have the cauldron video and the sweet spiders one, but we have some in those too.
Perfect. And so we're going to do the same thing on our drippy goo. I'm going to add some dark YR18 at the top of my drippy goo. And then on the larger drips, I'm just kind of tracing that right side. Again, I'm really letting the brush tip of my marker coat the sides of my white cardstock. That's the only thing, is you just kind of want to make sure you're getting everything all colored.
Sorry, I was dinging. Sorry about that.
No worries. No worries. I feel like I've done a million lives this week. So yesterday, Kelly, Shari, and I were live on Lawnfawn's YouTube channel because we did Adventures in Card Making, which if you guys haven't joined us for one of those are kind of like a casual create and chat. And we have so much fun doing those. We'll be doing another one on October 30th. And then I did a little live on my YouTube channel telling everybody about all the fun classes and everything I have offering this fall. So I feel like I've lived I feel like I'm on Big Brother. My whole life this week has been.
Yeah, right. And you can rewatch those as well. And Adventures of Card Maker soon, because on our Instagram stories we do polls. So you get, if you remember the Choose Your Own Adventure books, you get to choose what Shari and Jen use, which is so much fun. So you get to choose on Instagram stories, and then they go live with those kind of themes and make something different and than each other. So it's super fun. So if you haven't missed it, definitely catch the replay. Maybe we can link to the replay as well.
And what inspired Shari and I is we really just wanted to use some of the previously released products. Like, we love the new release, right? It's so fun and it's always so exciting, but it's also fun to kind of dust off a set that hasn't had some love for a while. So that's usually what we kind of focus on. So the odds are, if you're a lawnfawn fan, you probably have what we're using in your stash. I see Miss Libby is here, and she said she bought all of the fun Woodland Library stuff from Papercraft Clubhouse, and she just got it in the mail yesterday. Super fun.
Amazing. I know that the library stuff is, it has my heart. I'm such a book lover.
Cute.
I gotta say, I've been listening to my first, I'm gonna call it a book on tape because, but I've listened to like memoirs or more like non-fiction books on book, but I haven't listened to I like kind of rom-com romance novels. I haven't listened to one. And so I just started this week and it was so much fun. It was just nice because I was doing intro videos for our inspiration week next week. And I was here by myself coloring and everything. I was just listening in my earpods, it was just really fun.
That's so fun.
Because I
listen to a lot of books on tape. I listen to a lot.
Yeah. So I know it's the game, but it was nice. It's a nice way to craft a book in your ear.
Super fun. So now I'm going to color the little bubbles, and I'm sure if you did prep for the class, you were probably a little mad at me having to have these tiny pieces, but once we put them on our card, it's going to look really cute. So the big bubbles, there's 3 of them. I'm just kind of doing one side with the YR18, and then I'm going to blend with the YR14. And then I'm actually just going to finish filling it in with the YR14. And then the medium bubbles, we're going to do a little bit lighter. And then the teeny bubbles, we're going to do the lightest. So.
I know, I kind of, somehow I went bubble crazy. And
you got extras?
Well, no, I finished my bubbles. I don't know how I did it.
Oh, wow. You're like ahead of the game.
I know it's a rarity here, but I kind of want to go back in and blend some of my my goo.
For Jen too. Somebody says that one of the upcoming classes is listed as Lawnfawn Winter. Is there any hints as to what that class might be?
Oh, meaning Is it my online class?
I'm thinking that's what she means. It says question, Jen, with the upcoming classes, one of them is listed as lawnfawn winter.
Oh,
Is there any?
yeah, that I don't. Oh, I know what one she means. In December. That is going to be snowman related. So probably the Frosty family.
Like this.
Yes. So cute.
Here's a little sneak peek at a card for the intro videos
Yay.
for next.
And so Inspiration Week starts
crazy.
So Inspiration Week is next week, Kelly?
Yes, it starts next Wednesday with our big giveaway post. So you definitely want to check that out because you have an opportunity to win a ton of stuff. And then each day we're going to have intro videos featuring a lot of our holiday stuff. We're doing Halloween, we're doing Christmas, we're doing it all at once. And so we're going to have videos for that. So sorry, Rebecca and I have been hard at work at those videos. And so these are some of the cards we've been working on.
They're so cute.
And so it's going to be super, super fun. So you'll definitely have to check us. We'll have some premieres and so we can do some live chats and everything. It'll be really fun.
Yay. So for the medium bubbles, I'm using Y38 and Y15. And then the teeny tiny bubbles, I'm going to do just Y15. I wasn't that crazy. All right. And that, my friends, is all of our coloring.
Wow.
Yeah, look at us go.
Never done, right?
Right? Look at us go. Look at us go.
Oh, I love how we have so many people who love to read and so many people who love snowmen and the kitty snowman, which you obviously have to use.
Oh my gosh. Yes. I was so excited. We actually were chatting. It must have been during Adventures in Card Making. We were thinking we needed we're already wanting more things for Mr. Harvest, Kelly. We were thinking we needed an add-on set that had like a cat scarecrow and a dog scarecrow and some extra patches. We've got a whole thing. We're
got a whole thing.
Yeah,
I know you're gonna have to take it up with Erica because Erica's gonna be like, I bet I made them the thing.
I know.
You guys didn't tell Erica this.
I'll tell Erica, hey, Happy Harvest is very popular. So
yeah.
Oh, thank you so much, Gina. I just looked up at the comments and I saw she said that my coloring is incredible. That is so sweet of you.
Agreed.
Very sweet of you. All right, so now we are going to do a little bit of ink blending. So I'm just going to set these images aside. And I am going to take out my pattern paper. So this pattern paper, Kelly might remember the name of it better than me, has a beautiful gold foil on one side. But I'm actually slightly obsessed with the gray stars on the back because I just like how it's like a subtle design. I love the foil and I use the foil too. But I loved how this kind of got our background started for us. And tonight I am going to be using Wild Rose and Carrot. And we're going to start by using Wild Rose.
All right, Wild Rose.
And I like to use a blending brush that is a little bit larger when I'm doing full backgrounds. I just think it kind of helps give you a softer blend. So I have blending brushes that are a few different sizes, but I like to use one that's a little bit larger when you're trying to get a nice even blend on a large area. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to ink up my blending brush, and my tabletop is made out of glass, which blending on glass is really awesome and highly recommend it. But we're actually going to break the rules a little bit. We're going to start blending in the center of our paper. So I am going to ink up my blending brush and I'm going to tap it off on my non-porous surface, which is glass. And that's dropping off a lot of ink. And now when I go into the center of my background, I'm going to have such a gentle hand. Like I'm barely going to touch the paper because we don't want to have any harsh edges or anything showing. So this background is from Card Kit 2. I saw in the chat somebody was asking. So I'm just doing a soft dusting, and it might not look like anything is happening, but just have some patience. We can always build up our layers, but we don't want to have any harsh marks. So we want to really do a soft dusting. So I'm going to ink up my brush again, tap it off, and blend some more. And the focus is I'm leaving kind of the bottom inch or so is going to stay white. And we're just kind of blending this center oval up here with Wild Rose. We're going to keep all the edges white because we're going to do carrot on that.
And someone has a wonderful question that is it okay to use these cards simply for inspiration for her nephew's Halloween cards rather than following exactly? And yes, that's what Create With Us is all.
Yes.
You can use these as inspiration. Like, for example, you can make the same background, but you could be using a totally different stamp set. You could be creating something totally different. We just want to create with you. So we're so glad that you're here, and I can't wait to see how you're inspired by these. So make sure to share too, because we really want to see that as well.
Oh, yeah. And I actually noticed our little hashtag went away. So give me 1 second. But we absolutely love if you share what you create after tonight, whether it's just like ours or completely rogue. We don't care. We just want to see that you had fun with us tonight. So you'll see at the bottom of the screen, we have the hashtag LF Create With Us, but you also can tag lawnfawn and you can tag me, Jen Shirkus. And all that info is on your downloadable handout as well.
And then I know some people were talking about how much they love interactive. We have our new Swivel Surprises, our new interactive die. And I just wanted to show you, since we're working with Halloween stuff. It took us a second to find it because Miles, my son, wanted to recreate it, so he had it. But as you open it, you can see we've got the same Sweet Spider stamp set on there. Oh my
gosh, so cute.
And it gets that really fun swivel motion with lots of fun ink blending on there. So this interactive die is so much fun. And I just wanted to show you guys how well the stamp set that we're using today fits on the swivel.
It's super cute. Super, super cute. So what I'm doing now is I have lawnfawn carrot ink. And I'm inking up my blending brush. I'm tapping it off on my non-porous surface. And then to dust the edges, I actually start blending my table first, my glass tabletop. And I bring the brush into my paper. And that's what's going to give a nice soft dusting. Now, lawnfawn inks are water-based dye ink pads. And what that means is they're translucent. So that's how we're able to still see this really cute star design in the background. If you're using something like a Distress Oxide that's more opaque, you might not see the design as strongly, but that's okay too.
And Jen, is it okay that the orange overlaps the pink some as I ink it on?
Yes, please overlap the pink a little bit, because then we get a fun in-between color. And I'm actually going to now grab my pink blending brush again, and I'm going to just dust that seam between the two colors. I'm not even adding any more ink to my brush, but I'm just kind of blending that little bit of overlap. Because then we actually have like 3 colors going on, which is really, really cool. And
I even put a little bit more. I put a little bit more pink because I love the color that the pink and the orange.
I know, it's so pretty. I actually haven't used Wild Rose in a long time. I think it's like one of the original ink colors.
It is one of the original colors. Yeah.
Now be kind to yourself, because when you first ink blend, it kind of looks choppy. It needs time to dry, time to absorb into the paper, time to kind of settle. I always look back at my ink blending after I'm done, and then, after like it's been sitting for a while, and I'm always so much happier. So don't get discouraged. Mine even looks, I feel like, a little choppy right now, but once it all kind of settles, it's going to look much more smoother and much prettier.
Yeah, mine does too. I know I have one spot where I'm like, I don't know, but it always ends up turning out.
Yep. And so now while we're ink blending, I'm going to set this aside. But out of card kit 2, I'm going to take out the white cardstock 4 1/4 by 5.5 panel. I'm
That's
using
card
just
kit 1.
Oh, sorry, card kit 1.
Right?
Yep. Sorry, my
Yeah.
bad. Yep. My panel is Distress White Heavy Stock. It's a nice 130-pound cardstock. It's really bright white, and I love it for ink blending. I just think it gives a really nice, smooth ink blend. Now we're going to use Wild Rose again. However, I'm probably not going to ink up my blending brush again. I'm going to just start to dust in the center. Oh, maybe I am actually. Maybe I lied. Sometimes I have enough ink on my brush to get a nice soft dusting that I don't really need to ink it much more. So what I'm actually going to do is I want my outer edges to be lighter than my center. So I'm kind of doing all over with whatever ink I have left on my brush. And this is going to be very, very soft. And that's exactly what I want my edges to look like. Then I'm going to ink up my brush and add a little bit more color to the center. But I'm kind of utilizing the fact that there's not too much ink on my brush right now to get a really nice soft dusting.
And this is over the whole panel.
The whole panel, yep. And now I'm going to go ahead and ink up that brush, tap it off, and kind of, we're concentrating a little bit of a darker ink, kind of where that center of that spider web is going to go. So if it's helpful for you, you can take that out of your kit and kind of just see. We're going to kind of ink a little bit heavier where the concentration of that spider web is. But again, I'm still just using a light ink. Yeah.
It was really helpful to get that ink out.
Oh, get the dye out? Yep.
Getting the dye out. Yeah, because it's kind of like, oh, I really do need a little bit more pink over here.
Yeah, it's kind of like off to the side. And what's nice about using this dye, not only is it so adorable, but it's going to cover up a lot of imperfections on our ink blending too. So don't worry about that. So see? That's what it's going to end up looking like.
And I keep going back and like, oh, I want to add a little more pink.
I know, it's such a pretty color. And I'm just using a little bit of isopropyl alcohol in a mister bottle, spraying it on my non-porous surface, and then I'm just wiping it with a flour sackcloth. What's nice about using the isopropyl alcohol is it evaporates right away, and you don't have any dampness left behind like you would if I did it with water. All right, and then the last thing we're going to ink blend in card kit 1, you had another piece of Distress White Heavy Stock. And what we're going to do is ink blend a gradient pink to orange. So since I still have the Wild Rose out, I'll just go ahead and start with that. We're going to die cut out of this panel, and this is like plenty of space. Because I just find it easier to hold on to.
And so, Jen, for this one, are we trying to make a blend, or are we just adding color to it?
We are going to do a blend. So we're going to do Wild Rose on one side and Carrot on the other. So, and I'm being fairly heavy with my color this time. I want it to be a little bit more intense in color. So here I'm just doing Wild Rose on half of it. And you can see I'm kind of holding it so that it's horizontal. So like the top half. And then we'll do Carrot on the other side. I'm just going to clean off my table.
And then some people had some questions about the different types of cardstock.
Yeah.
You can absolutely, and I have to say, I almost always ink blend with lawnfawn's cardstock because it's like right next to me with the white cardstock, which is Nina Classic Solar White 100-pound cardstock, or I mean 80-pound cardstock. But then Jen loves this Distress cardstock, which it is really nice to ink blend on. Both are awesome though. Like they're both great to use. What you have. Yep. Obviously the Distress, this cardstock can really take the ink in a beautiful way. But I all of like my, like this ink blended background right here, that's all done on Lawn
So
Fawn white
pretty.
cardstock, 80 pound. Like the inside of this card is all done on 80-pound cardstock. So you really, the white, you know, the Nina Solar white. So you really can get a good, with what you've got, you'll be able to get a beautiful look.
Yep.
But if you're ever struggling to get the looks you want, maybe you want to try some of this cardstock. Bristol Smooth is another one that people also really like.
Yep. So cute.
Are those crickets, Jen?
It's so funny. Yeah, it's definitely, yes. I had to like
I love
stop that. It's so amplified for you compared to me.
I was trying to figure out what that noise was. I'm like, is it heat cuts or heat cuts? I was like, what is the noise?
Yeah, no, I love it.
No, I
Sorry.
didn't. Was it?
Well, we don't get that because we don't get that here.
Yeah,
so
we
I
have the windows open, and we've got a conservation land that is our backyard, so we got all kinds of noises. Oh, so pretty, Kelly. So what we'll do now that we have this ink blended is we're actually going to die cut out our letters to do our sentiments. So we're going to do flies. And I'm using Oliver's Stitched ABCs, but you can use any alphabet die that you have will work for this. And I'm going to make it so that my pink is on the top. But again, you can do whatever you would like. And you're going to have plenty of cardstock to make more cards later. I just wanted to have a larger piece to hold on to. And you can see I'm using some loved Best Ever craft tape to hold my letters in place.
Yeah. Rebecca's going to die cut for me because my die cut machine's been acting up.
Spoiled. No, I'm just kidding.
I know.
Exactly.
I am very
I'm glad
spoiled.
you said it. Call her out.
Yeah. I'm spoiled rotten. Oh my goodness. And then somebody's asking while we're die cutting, someone's asking if this is the Lawn Fawn mascot. This is Francois the Lawn Fawn. And yeah, so you can do. He was a 21st birthday present from my brother. And he's like a cheesy light up lawn ornament, and his head moves. And I named him Francois the Lawn Fawn because I just thought it was so funny. And when Erica, Mike, and myself, the three owners of Lawn Fawn, we met playing orchestra pits in college. We put him in the orchestra pit for good luck. So he was our little good luck charm. And that's how we got the name Lawn Fawn. It was after this guy. So he just hangs out back with me.
Love it.
Just watching.
We have crickets over here, and we have fire engines with you.
Yeah, well, we're like what, three doors down, 2 doors down from a fire station. So this is the noise at Lawn Fawn a lot.
I just am laughing at the contrast of it.
Yeah, you have nice calm crickets, and
we have fire trucks. Yeah, and they're more active right now, obviously, with everything.
Obviously. So as you take your letters out, if you want to dust them with more color, you most certainly can. Sometimes I'll look at a letter and I'll be like, oh, I wish there was a little bit more pink on this L. So I'm just taking my brush. Again, I'm not really adding more ink. I'm just using what's on the brush. And you can kind of intensify that color a little bit. You just want to be careful because you don't want to bend your letters.
That's a good idea. I want to do that.
But sometimes once you've got them cut out, once you see what's going on, you're like, I want a little bit more. Kelly's on a pink kick tonight, so I'm guessing she's going to want to dust it with some more pink.
I definitely want some more pink because mine kind of look a little orange. So I'm like, oh, you know what?
Well, yeah, maybe where I cut them too.
Well, I don't think I did. I was really heavier handed with the orange, I think. Yeah, right?
It sounds like Mo snoring on my end.
Oh, it does sound like, Mo is my dog. Yeah.
Look looking. That's why I'm like,
No, I actually looked for her earlier, and that was probably why.
it
Because
sounds like Mo snoring. And
Yeah.
That's why I'm like, oh,
The
I
crickets?
guess
my dog Mo sits right down. I have a little bed for her right here, and she's always in here with us. But she went home already with Mike and Miles, and
that's why it's been driving me crazy.
And
Like,
she's
I
got
don't
this-
understand. Mo's not here.
I know she's got this little snore. She's on the bed today, so she was probably definitely snoring.
Yeah.
So while we have these little letters out, part of the homework was to die cut the same letters out of black sparkle cardstock, or you could just do regular black cardstock, whatever you guys have. And we're going to actually glue these together so they're a bit offset. So I'm just digging mine out of my bag. I'm trying really hard not to lose my little flies.
Oh, don't worry, Kelly will.
I'm sure mine are already lost.
Yeah, I'm trying really, really hard. And I recommend a wet glue if you're using the sparkle cardstock, just so that it will stick to the sparkle really well versus a tape runner. And so what I'm going to do is I'm just going to take my blended F, okay, and I'm just going to put a little bit of glue tube on the back. I kind of follow along that stitching. And then I'm going to grab my sparkle F. And I'm just going to offset it a little bit high and a little bit to the right. So we'll have a little peak of sparkle to the left and underneath those little extending pieces. So like that. And it's just so cute.
I love it. It gives it a nice little pop.
Yeah, a little something, something.
So the pink orangey one is up and to the right a little.
Yes. The eye will be the easiest one to do. I also like to use a wet adhesive because you can kind of wiggle it a little bit and get it.
I was literally
place.
just thinking the same thing because I didn't really like how I had mine, and I might kind of offsetting them more than I usually do, but I think that's kind of cute on a Halloween card.
For sure.
It's funny, Oliver, when we came out with Oliver's Stitched ABCs, that was when I was pregnant with Miles, and a lot of people thought his name would be Oliver because of that.
Oh, yeah.
But Oliver Alvarez is like, it's very hard to say. Yeah, we did really like the name. Mike especially loved the name, but it was a little Oliver Alvarez toy. It was a little too much.
He's on Oliver.
He's not Oliver. He's a Miles.
Yeah, he's on Oliver.
Yep. And then
if your letters aren't laying flat, what I like to do too, sometimes once I get them the way I want, I just put my acrylic block on top of them and just kind of let them rest too.
It's funny how people become their name. Although sometimes I meet someone and I rename them in my head for the name I think they should have. But yeah, Miles is a Miles.
I wanted so badly in 5th grade to change my name to Samantha.
Ooh, that's a really good name.
I was done being Jen. There were too many of us.
Oh, I feel you. I know Jen's more than Kelly, but Kelly in the 80s was, I had at least 4 Kellys in every class.
So since my parents didn't let me change my name to Samantha in 5th grade, I decided I was no longer going to be Jenny because that was too little girlish. And they had to spell my name with 2 N's or I would get really mad. And that's how that started.
That's how it started. I love that. Oh, someone's asking, this is lawnfawn's black sparkle cardstock. We have a ton of colors in the sparkle cardstock, and it is beautiful, and it die cuts like gorgeously. So it is one of like our favorite specialty cardstocks that we have. For me, is the sparkle cardstock. It's so pretty.
All right. So the next thing that I'm going to do is part of your homework was to have your sentiment all white embossed on black cardstock. But I also thought it'd just be really good to demo that really quick for you guys. Ooh, Kelly's showing all that yummy sparkle.
Look at all the sparkles. So we have a spring sparkle, which has more pastels in it. And then this isn't even all the colors, so I keep using it all up. We've got golds. We have some of them in like some of them are in multi-packs, and then some are in we'll put the link in there, and then some are in individual packs too. So we have like green, really pretty greens and reds for the holidays. And then we have oranges, blacks, purples for fall and Halloween. So we have a whole really nice selection. Like I said, it die cuts so nicely, which I'm always looking for, because a lot of times with sparkle cardstock, it's hard to die cut, but this one, the die cut's so nice.
It doesn't show over. It doesn't.
Yeah, there's no glitter anywhere. It's lovely.
Yeah, it doesn't shed. So I thought, even though I had it as part of your homework to pre-white emboss your sentiments, I just thought it would be good to just quickly demo. I share this in a lot of my classes and people always appreciate it, because I think sometimes to get a nice crisp white embossing is tricky and it can be frustrating. So I thought it might be nice to kind of share what I do. Doesn't mean it's the only way, but I just thought it just might be nice, might kind of trigger an idea for you. So the first thing that I do is I use the Cottontail powder tool. You can use any powder tool just to kind of dust your cardstock. That's going to get rid of all the static cling. If you have oil on your hand, it'll kind of take that away. And I also think it really just helps emboss the image more smoothly. And then we're going to take a sentiment. I'm just going to do the large Happy Halloween just to do something different, since I already did the sentiment for class. And this will just show up. And again, lawnfawn sentiment stamps are great because they're in block form. So they're very, very easy to just kind of line them up in one long string. The spacing is just how you would want it. You don't have to figure that out on your own. I do recommend for white embossing to use a stamping platform, and you'll see why in just a second. I'm going to be using Lawnfawn Yeti ink, which is a pigment ink pad. And I like to use a white pigment ink pad when I'm white embossing. I do think it makes a difference. And I'm going to take the Yeti ink pad, ink up my stamp. And I'm going to go ahead and stamp it. Now, I'm not pressing hard. I'm like very, very light touching. And then I like to ink it again. And the reason why I do this a couple times is because some of that ink is absorbing into your cardstock. So what this is doing is getting a nice amount of ink to sit on top of the cardstock to grab that white embossing powder that we're going to use in a minute. But again, when I'm touching this, it's like so light.
I gotta say, I have actually never tried using Yeti to heat emboss with, and now I can't wait to try it. I pre-heat emboss, but I'm gonna try that.
Oh, please do, and let me know what you think. It made a big difference for me. And then the other thing,
well, it makes sense because you're starting with a white base.
Yeah. And even though I could just dip this into my powder, I like to sprinkle it because I find that it sits on there and things don't get smeary. I don't know. So I like to just kind of sit it on there, and then I just tap the edge and then tap the edge. So you can see we've got all that powder on there. I'm going to set my embossing powder aside. And then you want to use an embossing gun. Now, I always have my Ranger heat tool and my embossing gun plugged in. And sometimes I'm lazy and I use my Ranger heat tool, but it does take longer to emboss. So I'm going to use just an embossing gun. And I'm going to turn it on and let it run for a few seconds before I start putting the heat onto my cardstock. Now, the other tip is I am working on glass. And if you work on some sort of non-porous surface, you want to lift your cardstock up, because what's going to happen when I'm touching the heat onto the cardstock is it's going through the cardstock, it's bouncing off of my glass table, and then it's also heating it from behind. And I think that really helps get a nice, even emboss as well. And then you always just need to kind of find that sweet spot where you're not embossing it too long. Black cardstock, you won't see any scorching, luckily. But if you emboss it too long, what happens is the embossing powder kind of like melts, it fuses into the cardstock. But there we go. We have a nice, clean, white embossing, no little speckles anywhere. Yeah. So again, just some tips and tricks, because I feel like people get frustrated
I'm
getting a
very
nice.
excited to try that.
Please let me know. Let me know how it goes for you.
I'm excited. The people are also talking about how much they love our textured cardstock, and I wanted to share something. Well, the texture is amazing because there's the one pack has like all these shades of like teals and aquas or reds and oranges or greens, and so if you're really looking for like a specific shade, it's great. But I wanted to show you a little tip with it. So I don't know if you can see it on the screen or not, but it has the texture on it, but the back is smooth.
Ooh.
So if you want smooth, you just cut from the back, and if you want the texture, you can cut from the other side, and it gives you a whole new range of colors. So it's definitely, I really love this cardstock because it has both, even though it is textured, which I love because I feel like it makes the die cuts feel kind of special. I love that you can get the smooth look too from die cutting from the back.
Yay, love it. All right, so now I think what we'll do is just kind of start to put together this card first, which is card 1, I believe. And so what I did is I actually am going to take out my orange drippy goo. And this is out of the orange sparkle cardstock, which I think has a different name than orange. Maybe
well, I think it's in the, I don't know if we have an individual of the orange yet.
Oh, let me look. I don't know.
I can't remember.
I'm looking right now.
And what I'm going to do with, so I'll be honest. So I put this card together and I love it. But something that kind of bothered me, but I didn't have time to change it, is that the 3 goos are all lined up here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put this goo over here. This goo is going to be tucked more under the F, and then this one will be more that way. So that's just what I'm doing. You can totally follow the picture. This is just, it annoyed me, but I was heading on vacation and I didn't have time to make another one. So what I'm going to do is take one of these little goos and I kind of just tuck it behind the web here. Like that, right? See how it's just going to like hang out? And the reason why I'm showing that is because now I'm going to flip this over. And I am only adding liquid glue to the frame. I am not adding glue all over this spider web. You don't need to. But I am going to add a little bit of liquid glue on these chunkier parts of the goo. Does that make sense? Yes, hopefully. So again, I'm just doing a light dusting of liquid glue on the frame, not the spider web. Now you could use lawnfawn self-adhesive sheets and, you know, die cut that, and then it'll be sticky. But once we get everything else on this card, you do not need your little spider web bits to be glued. So my tip to lining this up now, because I know sometimes this makes people a little nervous, is I'm going to look at this bottom left corner, and I'm going to look at the bottom left corner of my background, and I'm just going to line that corner up, and I'm going to put my finger right on that corner, and then just let your spider web go. It's going to fall where it falls, okay? Now, because I'm a human being and I'm using, you know, craft supplies to cut things, my background might be a little off. That's totally okay. I'm just going to take my scissors out and I'm just going to trim off the extra on the outside of that black sparkle cardstock. Nobody's going to see, you know, maybe if there's overhang on the back, because this is going to go on a card base, right? So I never worry, and I just try not to fight the panel that you're putting on top of a whole nother panel, because you're not going to win. You're not going to win that fight. Okay.
I love using this goo like outside of the cauldron.
I think it's so fun. I really want a drippy goo border die from lawnfawn. So this is me channeling that. All right. So I'm going to actually just set this aside and let it rest. And we are going to glitter all of the things so that we can then start to assemble. So I'm using lawnfawn Prismaglitter. I keep it in a fairly large container so that it helps keep it contained. And we will glitter everything for both cards. There's going to be a few things that we're going to glitter once they're on our card. Like I glittered the little fly wings, and it's much easier to do once it's on the card. And I think, yeah, I glittered some of these little bubbles, and those are going to be easier to do once they're on the card. And I'll share how to do that when we get to that. I'm using a Sakura Quickie glue pen, best glue pen in the world, in all of the land. And on the handout, it'll tell you exactly what I glittered. But for the candy bits, I pretty much just kind of followed the highlight. So on the Sour Patch bag, I'm tracing the top of that bag with the Quickie glue pen. And then I just take this and I dip straight in and straight out. And I tap the pen onto the paper, and then it adds that little bit of sparkle. So yeah, so we'll just take a minute and we'll glitter all of the things. I don't know if we're missing any questions, Kelly.
I don't think so. I think we've been getting a lot of them. A lot of people love all the glitter, and a lot of people hadn't tried some people have tried the white ink for embossing, and some people haven't. So so a lot of us have some fun things to try.
I love that.
Embossing this weekend, because it makes so much sense, because you're starting with a white base, so it's going to help your embossing look nice and finished.
Yeah. Now, when I'm gold embossing or silver embossing, I still use my good old, you just can use an embossing ink pad. Like Lawnfawn has a good embossing ink pad, or a Versamark, whatever it is you have in your stash for that. Because, you know, you wouldn't want to use white for the metallics. Yeah.
And then we have someone asking if you have recommendations for a tape runner. This is my absolute favorite. It's the Tombow Mono Dots adhesive. I love it because over time it cures. So like by the next morning, everything's stuck really nicely. But when you first use it, you can pop things on and off pretty easily. So if you're someone like me who's always like fussing around with where I put something on a card, I can move it around and change it when I use this dot runner. It's also nice too if you had like if you're looking, we'll link it too. But yeah, so if you're like putting the tape runner like on something like this, it's just going to add the dots to those pieces and the rest will come off, versus like the ones that are a strip, it won't add to like the little tiny corners. So I'm a big fan and this isn't a lawnfawn product. It's just an awesome product. I love it. So we love using
that's my favorite runner as well.
And they're easy to load as well. Some of the ones that are a little bit harder to load can be frustrating. So those are easy to load too. And let us know if you have other questions while we're glittering all the things.
I know, right? But whenever you get a handout from me, I always list what's glittered and what's popped up. And the Create With Us handouts are kind of like a little taste of what my handouts are like if you take any classes with me, whether they're in person or online. You always get really great handouts.
Oh yeah. Oh my gosh. So this is like, yeah, like you said, it's like a little taste of what an awesome Jen class is.
Yeah.
And so maybe we can make sure to link to Jen's classes again. I know she was talking about them earlier, but she's got some awesome ones coming up. She has self-paced ones and also live ones. And Jen, is it correct that if you miss a live class, you can, like, if you want to take it, but you can't be there live, you could watch it later?
For sure. Yeah. If you can't make it live, so like Shari and I have Harvest Friends coming up on September 21st, you can watch the class videos whenever it works into your schedule. You can stop us, rewind us, fast forward us. They're all hosted on unlisted YouTube videos, so you don't have to have a Facebook account to participate in my online classes as well. And I don't like to say you'll have access forever because we just don't know what's going to happen with technology or life happenings. But you will have access for a wicked long time is what I would say. I'm just nervous to say forever because we just never know.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. Actually, it happened to me. I bought some children's music for my son on iTunes, and some of it I had downloaded to my phone, but not my laptop or something like that, and it was taken off of Apple Music.
Oh
And
no.
so if you hadn't downloaded it already, they can't, and there's nothing they could do because it was the people had pulled it off. So you never know what happens with like movies and stuff like that too.
Yeah.
Here's a really good tip from Paula. Add a little bit of liquid glue to the tape runner to assist in lifting or moving it about before it sticks. That's really good.
That's a good tip.
I like that. And
so
then
I'm gonna. Oh, I'm sorry. Just real quick, I'm gonna use a white gel pen, and what I did is I just added little dots on the cheeks of the spiders because I just thought that was adorable. So
I like that. Oh my, that's so cute. So someone here was asking, what weight of paper do you use for die cuts? So personally, when I'm stamping and coloring, I use 80-pound white cardstock. I use Nina Classic Solar White. It's also packaged as the lawnfawn white 80-pound cardstock too, in case you can't find it locally to you. And that's my favorite cardstock to use for stamping, coloring, and die cutting. Like for example, the little pieces that we inked, I would from that. And then I would also then, when I'm die cutting colors of cardstock, our colorful cardstock has a tendency to be 100 pound. Our textured is 80 pounds. So the glitter is its own weight. So really, it just kind of depends on the type of cardstock I'm using. Pattern paper is 65 pound, but it's all going to look amazing. It's all going to look great. So you don't need to necessarily the weight part, but maybe more what you're going for, which color you want, what pattern you want, because it's all going to die cut beautifully.
Yeah, and that's what I use too. So now we're going to go ahead and start by putting on our letters onto our background. And the way that I get these to be nice and straight and lined up is I'm actually just going to use a grid mat. So you could use the edge of a ruler or any type of grid mat that you might have. I'm just using the Wendy Vecchi Make Art Station because I use this for a lot of other techniques. But I'm using that grid, and what I'm going to do is just start to lay out my letters and just kind of space them out and make sure they're nice and straight and get them how I want them to look. We've got plenty of space. If it was a big word, I would put my card in view, so I would make sure I didn't go off the card. But in this case, I know I have plenty of space because this is a short word.
And Jen, these are going to be popped. Is that right?
I am going to pop them. Yep. But I wait to do that. So now that I have them all together, the way that it looks, I'm going to just take another piece of that low tack Best Ever craft tape. And I like to just touch it to my skin once just to make it a little bit more low tack, just kind of to be safe. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to lay this down over the letters, and then I'm able to pick them up all as one. Okay. And I'm going to flip this over so that I'm looking at the backs of them, and I'm going to take another drippy goo. And remember, I said this time I'm going to put this more under the F side of the sentiment. So I'm just going to lay that in place. And what I'm going to use is well, I was going to use my black foam strips, but I can't find them. So I'm going to use my white foam strips. And these foam strips are amazing for many different things, but they fit perfectly behind the Oliver's letters. And what I do first is I want to make sure that I'm holding on the drippy goo. So I'm kind of concentrating on those spots first. Basically behind the F, and I want to put one down here on the E. And then what I do as I'm going, oh, I need that a little bit higher. This is a concentrate for a minute, Jen. Don't talk and try to do.
I know, right?
Just to get the drippy goo in place, because of course I want that popped up too. There we go. So I have a little bit of foam. Let me zoom in a little bit more. So I have a little bit of foam right here behind the F and a little bit behind the E vertically. And what that's doing is holding the ends of my drippy goo. And now I'm going to finish by going and doing all the other verticals. So behind the L, behind the I, and then on the S, I'm just going to cut a little piece and put it on this long diagonal in the center. And I'll cut 2 small pieces and put them on behind the top of the E and the bottom of the E. You don't need foam everywhere. And then the last thing I'm going to do with a little bit more of a foam strip is this chunkier part of drippy goo that's hanging down. I'm going to put a little piece there. And that should be good. So I'll just kind of zoom in and show you. Just like that.
Nice.
And then what you want to do is gently peel off the backing. I usually try to just hold on to a bit of the letter as I'm peeling, because sometimes you might peel the letter off and then that's just kind of annoying because you have to realign everything. I just trimmed all my nails. I always do this.
I have to laugh, Jen, because there's only one time in which I am less type A than you.
I literally was saying the same thing.
And this is the only time.
Why? Are you just sticking them down freehand?
I don't know why. That's my thing. I just stick them on.
I
don't know why.
I think because I figured out how to do this, and it really isn't like too finicky. Like, because I do it so much now that I'm okay doing it. Like, if it,
I know, like, I don't know. I'm just laughing because it's the only time literally in my entire life where I'm not like.
So I'm really proud of you, Kelly.
I know. I think it's good for me. It's good for me.
It is good for you.
Just.
And so you can see, if you're following me with tape, I have my tape pieces and I'm holding this and I'm just going to kind of figure out where I want this sentiment. And I'm going to place it down and give it little presses where I know those foam bits are. And then I'm just going to gently peel away this low-tack tape. Now I'm keeping this low-tack tape. This is going to hold my dies in place, so this isn't wasteful. And then we're going to take our white embossed sentiment. Whoops, did I just throw mine on the ground? Almost. And this is when I like to do word fetty. So what I do for this is just kind of trim up around the sentiment. I like to freehand it because it's a blocked sentiment, so it's fairly easy to freehand it. And I actually like the organic look of it with scissors versus a paper trimmer. And then we obviously don't need the word flies, right? Because that's what we just put on our card. So we're going to do time, snip that off, and then when I'm with you, and snip that off. And I'm going to add time with a little bit of foam.
All right, this is where now I struggle, but I'm gonna try
You
to.
want me to do it? I wasn't sure.
No, I am gonna be. This is now. I'm type A. I'm like.
What are you type A-ing?
She's trying. I didn't cut the sentiment. I heat embossed for her pre.
I'm trying to be good. I'm trying to cut. I'm trying to cut it
down to the right size because I wasn't sure.
I'm trying to cut it without.
Just cut it with your scissors around your sentiment. You can do it, Kelly.
I'm trying. That's what I'm saying. I only have one. There's only one moment in my life, and it's gluing down letters. And I just go right back to being me.
Now, before we stick when I'm with you down, I have foam behind it, but I'm not sticking it just yet. I'm just kind of laying it where I want it. My other little drippy goo, I'm going to put some liquid glue behind it. I did not pop this one. So I'm just adding some liquid glue, and I'm going to slide it under where this sentiment's going to go. Then you can peel and stick your sentiment. Make sure you leave room on the right. You're going to put a little heart there. We've got our little glittered heart. So I'm going to get a foam square for that.
I did it.
You did it, Kelly.
Okay.
I say this every time, and I'm never going to stop saying it, but I really love these little Create With Us's because there's always something that gets Kelly out of her comfort zone. And that's what's good about classes is it might not always be your style. It might not be the way you do things, but you get out of your comfort zone and you'll surprise yourself sometimes.
Right? Yeah. Oops. And then I almost put it on upside down. Oh, I guess that would have worked with like a cute little Halloween theme, you know?
So now I'm going to go ahead and add everything on here with foam except for the flies and the little bzzz. So I'm going to add like my little, my spiders and my candy. So we'll go ahead and do that for a minute, and then I'll explain to you how I'm going to add the flies and the little trail and stuff. I love collecting all the things in this spider web. It's so fun.
I know. That's my favorite part is gluing everything into the spider web. It just cracks me up.
And this is why we didn't need to have adhesive behind our whole spider web, because all these little bits are going to hold things all together for you. I'm switching up things a little bit just because I moved my drippy goo.
And I love this little guy. I like having the spider. I like him holding the candy. I like him holding there's a little treat bag in the stamp set. I think that's so cute.
So cute. All right, I got everything on but flies and the buzz. All right. Okay, I'm going to take my flies out of my bag now. I feel safe. We're going to be putting them on immediately. Now, I treat the little flies kind of like I do with sequins. So what I'm going to do, I'm trying to get this in the camera for you guys, is I'm going to use my pickup tool, just like I would a sequin. So I'm going to add a little drop of glue onto my card where I want my little fly. I'm going to actually do all three at once because I'm brave like that. And then I just use the pickup tool to pick up the fly, and then I place it into the glue. And then that little trail, the little bzz trail, I'm just going to add a little liquid glue behind the letters. And I'm going to place that onto here. Right? So cute. I love those little flies. I think they're so cute.
I know. They're one of my favorite parts of the stamp set because they're just adorable.
Now, I do want to glitter the wings of the fly, but I have them on there with wet glue. So if I try putting glue on their wings right now, it's going to move them around. So I'm going to let this settle a minute. We'll work on our other card, and then we'll go back and do our finishing glittering. Okay?
All right. I'm adding my flies now.
How's everybody doing? Those of you that are playing along with us. So you doing all right out there?
I like this. Coins get lost in the couch pillows. Sentiments get lost on the floor. Yep.
Many things get lost on our floor. I keep thinking it's Mo.
I know that it's
I'm
Mo's little
sorry.
snore. I know.
I'm sorry. Every time I hear it, I'm like,
It's Mo's little snore.
Is it the crickets that sound like Mo snoring?
Yeah.
I'm also on the other side of the computer, so like the
Well, and it
speaker
kind of, I think, you know how like the computer microphone tries to be smart, right? So
Yeah.
it's trying to kind of cut it out, so it goes kind of in and out too. So it sounds like this
yeah.
little whistle, and she has this little whistle snore.
Yeah, so
That's
it's like,
funny.
I'm like I said, not in front of the speaker, so I'm getting a little even more muffled.
Yeah.
So it just really sounds like they're snoring.
I know. Now I'm like, oh, I wish you were here, Mommy.
I know.
Aw.
I go home.
Lately.
I know she has been.
So I just noticed on my card here, I die cut this background that we ink blended with the outside in stitched rectangle. And the reason why I didn't have you do that for homework is because I find that if you ink blend after you die cut something with stitching, the stitching kind of catches the ink and it kind of gets a little bit darker. So I like to do my ink blending first and then die cut. So if you don't have this die, this is the largest rectangle in the outside in stitched rectangles. If you don't have this die, you could just trim your panel down to be 4 by 5 1/4, because we're going to adhere it to some black cardstock. So we'll have this nice black trim. So either way will work. I actually have my die cut machine on the floor over here. Oh my gosh, I just saw Tracy's comment. She says, we had 5 kitties, so I had to have 5 cat trees in my craft room so they could all hang out with me. That would totally be me.
Oh my gosh, I love that. I love that.
So
Yeah,
in our old home before we moved, my crafty space was in the dining room of the house. And so there was a big slider door out to our back deck in my craft room. And what was nice about that is a lot of sunshine came in. So all of our kitties would want to be in my studio with me all the time. So I would have 3 boxes, one for each cat in the room, and they'd all sleep. You can see behind me, I have a lawnfawn box on the floor. Those are their favorite, the really thick lawnfawn boxes. And so Jack has been sleeping in there, but it's not as exciting. It doesn't get as sunny in here as my old space. But
I mean, we have a really, really great question, Jen, that I think you would answer. It says, I have a question about posting cards I make on Instagram and other social media. How do I post it so it can be seen by Lawnfawn and other crafters who make cards with Lawnfawn sets?
That's a great question. First of all, I would make sure that your account is not private. If you have a private Instagram, even if you tag somebody or use a hashtag, unfortunately, unless they're a follower of yours, they won't be able to see. So definitely make sure of that. And I know many people will sometimes have like a crafty Instagram and then maybe a more personal Instagram, and you can keep your personal one private if you would like. And then when you post your projects, you want to, there'll be a place where it says tag people. And so in that space, you'll type the @ symbol, and it'll be lawnfawn, all one word. If you're doing a class with me, like tonight, you could tag me. And so you'd put Jen Shirkus. And as you start to type in Instagram to tag people, it'll come up. Like you'll start to type lawn. And if you're following Lawnfawn, like Lawnfawn will come up and you can just tap their profile photo. And then in your caption of your photo, you also could do the @ symbol and tag them if you wanted, if you didn't want to do it the other way. But that's also where you put your hashtags. So hashtag LF create with us, hashtag lawnfawn, and hashtags are all one word. You don't want to put any spaces because that'll break them up and it won't work correctly. So hopefully that I explained that okay.
And what's nice about that too is that you can actually follow a hashtag on Instagram.
Yeah.
So you could follow hashtag lawnfawn, hashtag create with us. And then in your feed, you're going to see all these beautiful cards that people are making with lawnfawn stuff.
Yep.
Another great way to share and see what other people make and have a community is our Lawn Fanatics challenge.
Yes.
And so I don't know, Jen, if you want to talk about that.
Yeah. So every 2 weeks, we have a new challenge. The Lawn Fanatics website is linked off of the LawnFawn website, or it's lawnfanatics.com. And we give you a challenge. There's like a badge that kind of explains what the challenge is all about. And the only rule is to use primarily LawnFawn products when you make, if you want to enter the challenge. Now, I always encourage people, because some people are like, oh, I don't post my cards, or I'm not super techie. I don't want to post. I would just still use the challenges as stepping off points of like what you can create in your crafty space. So, and I just want to let you guys know, if you enter the challenge, you have a chance of winning a gift card to lawnfawn.com. And it's all random number generator. So it's not a popularity contest. We're not choosing our favorites or anything like that. We just put in how many people entered into the random number generator, and whatever number comes back, that's who wins. So it's a really, really fun way to possibly win a gift card so you can get some items off of your LawnFawn wish list.
And it's a fun way to kind of develop a crafty community because there's other people creating, maybe it might be a color challenge or a layout challenge, or my favorite theme is when we do inspired by a movie, book, or song. And those are so much fun. So you can then see as you enter your card, you see everyone else who has entered, and then you could go to their Instagram or blog post or however they're sharing. And then you could say, oh my gosh, that's so cute. I love how you did this. And then you'll develop this really fun card making community with other people who love to do the same thing. So I think it's just so much fun.
I think it's so fun too. So I just used liquid glue to put the spider web down, and I purposely went off my card a little bit. So I'm just going to flip my card over and trim those little ends off.
That's what I love about this spider. I love like using this spider web to kind of create like little corners and cards. It's a way, like, I know I'm going to use this set for like a million years, because no matter what new Halloween set I have, I'm going to want
I've got a spider web. Yep.
Yeah, right?
For sure.
I just think it's so cool.
So now what we're going to do is let's go ahead and build our cauldron. So I'm taking that cauldron, which I cut out of the black sparkle cardstock because I love it so much. And I'm going to take the bubbling goo, and I'm going to place it into the die. I already cut a little slot for you to put this in. Oh my gosh, so cute. And then I'm going to take the drippy goo, just gently peeling it off because mine have been on the tape for a very long time. And I definitely would use wet adhesive for this because, again, we're adhering to that sparkle cardstock and it just kind of holds better. So I'm going to take the drips and I'm going to line that up with the rim of the cauldron. And you can see I was a little heavy-handed with my liquid glue. I never worry about that. What I do is I just take like a paper piercer and I just kind of scrape it away. Get the most of it gone. It's going to dry clear and dry. You're never even going to see it once it's all dry. Okay. Now, before we put this on the card, I did glitter it. I know you're probably really shocked by that. And so I, again, just took my quickie glue pen, and what I did is I glittered here and there on the highlights of the goo. So wherever you want, really, but I just kind of concentrated where the highlights were, even the stuff that's bubbling out. because I glitter all of the things. And I'm just going to go ahead and dip this in.
I love that people are sharing so many cute pet and crafting stories. I love it so much.
Oh, I love it. Yay.
My dog Daphne, she was black. And so the little white, backers, oh my gosh,
for foam squares.
Like stuck all over. I'm sure they're stuck all over Mo, but she has white fur, so I can't tell. She would have them just all over, and I would feel so bad because they would always be like stuck to her nose, stuck to her fur, stuck here, stuck there. She always had her.
They were always on her nose.
She always had her nose to the ground, looking for
treats.
You can't take the street dog out of the street out of the street dog. Like she would always on the floor, and so she would just have all those little things stuck to her. And yeah, oh my gosh, it was so cute. Someone's asking if you could use alcohol ink on sparkle paper. That is a very good question. I haven't tried it. I wouldn't say why not.
You can. I actually did that in a class once. I would only recommend not use, like, if you still have your broad tip of your marker, I would use that side, not your brush tip, because the sparkle cardstock actually is kind of textured. So almost like an exfoliant, it will, you just want to be very gentle with the tip of your marker, and I wouldn't use like the tip that you really use.
Well, and I think she might have meant like alcohol ink, like Ranger alcohol ink, but I'm assuming that would work.
I've done both.
Yeah.
So yes, I think I did a reveal wheel card, and it revealed different sparkle colors as.
And someone says that this witch is very fancy with her sparkle cauldron.
She's so fancy.
So, no, only the best.
I want to say she's fancy something else, but I'll keep my sassiness to myself since I'm on the lawnfawn channel, but I think you guys all know what I mean. Sorry, Kelly.
Okay. She's a sassy witch.
She's a sassy witch. All right, so I'm going to work on my card kind of from the bottom up. So I'm adding my little stitch sentiment banner tucked down low to the right. Okay. And then I am going to go ahead and add my cauldron. And I added foam squares behind the stitched sentiment banner and the cauldron. And now we can kind of fill in our area. Now you'll see I have a little present over here. That's going to get glued down flat. So I'm going to use my lawnfawn glue tube. And just tuck that. And then my Sour Patch Flies are going to get popped up. But part of the Sour Patch Flies is overlapping the cauldron. So I'm only going to put a foam square behind the right side. And then I'm going to put some liquid glue behind the left side. So what's overlapping on that cauldron will have a little bit of glue to make sure everything stays together. I don't like my cards to fall apart, so I think it's because I've shared the story, but I don't think I've shared it in a long time. But my dad, he's a single guy, and when you go into his home, he has my handmade cards like everywhere, all on display, and they're all like standing up, so they're all kind of like hunched over a little bit from like humidity and stuff. But I also like want to make sure like things don't fall off. I mean, he has cards up for years, so
I love that.
Think of that when I make my cards. I see Lori's here. Hi, Lori. She's a friend. Talk about Stampy friends. She's a Stampy friend from a long time ago. Good to see you.
Someone's asking if lawnfawn glue tubes are refillable. So we do have a larger glue tube, which I don't actually know where mine is right now. But you could refill your smaller glue tube with that larger one. So that'd be easy. You can pop this top off of your glue tube and you could refill it and then pop it right back on.
Perfect. So the lollipop is kind of flat, but I'm sliding it under the sentiment banner, and I put liquid glue so it's on the cauldron. There we go. I'm going to do my bubbles last. We'll kind of talk about bubbles in a little bit. So I'll share with you how we'll do that. The little swirly candy and the candy corn are flat. So I know this is going to be a heated topic in the chat, but let me know if you're team candy corn or team not candy corn. I am team not candy corn. It's too sweet for me, but I think they're adorable. So I always use them on my cards, but I don't want to smell.
They are Erica's favorite.
Oh.
I like eating like 3 of them.
Yes.
I like the really weird waxiness of it. I dig that. But then they're too sweet. But I'm one of those, I like a dark chocolate. I don't really like sweet or sour, but so this is the big one. And so you could refill this one. So the big one has 2 ounces of fun. And then this one has half an ounce. So there are 4 glue tubes inside of this one. So you could do a refill if you wanted.
I just realized I forgot to put my chocolate bar on my other card. So I was like, why do I have this chocolate bar?
Oh, you forgot the best kind of candy.
Yes, I know. So we're just going to add that. Okay. So now that we have all of our candy bits, we are going to put our bubbles on. Now, the large bubbles, we've got those 3 large bubbles. They are big enough to put a half a foam square behind them. And I love that these foam squares are really easy to cut in half. You actually might be able to put a whole foam square. Yeah, you can put a whole foam square. So we're going to put a whole foam square behind the big bubbles and place them on the card wherever you would like. I kind of like strategically covered the ends of the spider web because it was kind of bothering me. I don't know. Look at me being type A again, Kelly. I was like in a type A mood, but it was bothering me. It looked unfinished. I don't know. I was overthinking it is what I was doing.
Yeah. You spent too much time with me this summer. That's all.
I know, right? And then
this summer at a trade show. The first time in 4.5 years.
I know. And then for the little bubbles, I'm taking them off the tape and we're going to do the same thing kind of like we did with the flies. I'm going to treat them like sequins where I will add a drop of glue. So like in this instance, I want one on this big bubble. And I'll use my pickup tool and I'll place it there. So I overlapped some of the bubbles, like kind of off-centered.
I like the overlap. That's so fun.
Yeah, and you don't have to worry about putting foam behind that smaller bubble, you know. But I really find using these like sequins makes them much easier to manage, in my opinion.
We're going to be showing it in a video soon, but we have that new sequin mix die where you can die cut your own sequins. We die cut acetate. That was Rebecca's idea today. And oh my gosh, it makes like the perfect clear sequin.
I bet it does. I honestly think that's kind of like a little bit of a sleeper dye, but once everybody has it, they're going to find that they're going to use it so much.
It's I begged for that.
Oh my gosh, so cute.
Those are right there, those sequins, those are die cut from acetate.
So cute. I love it.
And that stemmed from I didn't want to go looking for clear sequins. Miles little.
Well, yeah, because Miles steals them all, and I'll show you what we got here.
I didn't want to go taking it. I was like,
Miles made, what did he? I think this is his happy mix.
Yeah.
And it's filled with every little bit and bobble. Spiders.
Oh my gosh. I think we all need a happy mix.
Yeah, look, it has rainbow. I know he made the
It's
perfect
very
little mix.
happy until you need a specific one and have to go digging through the happy mix looking for it.
Yeah, but yeah, it's so cute. He does
is
such
really-
yeah. Miles has done a very good job making the. It's got heart. It's got every
Yeah,
holiday.
and it's perfect.
And honestly, I get it. It's nice to play with. But yeah, so we die cut, and because I don't have a small enough one, I can never find a small enough clear sequin. So now I can die cut it, which I love.
I love that Shari just put a poll up. Are you team candy corn or not? I love it.
Oh, look at that. Look, Team Candy Corn's at 58%. Have you guys ever tried the Trader Joe's has that do you guys know what I'm talking about? They have like a candy corn popcorn. I've never tried it. It's like a candy corn popcorn mix during the drink.
No. I've seen that. For that.
We'll have to look for it this year. That's a lawnfawn we really like. Like anytime anyone finds a weird chip, like a weird chip flavor they bring it in, you got to be careful. I got burned once, and the oyster, it was an oyster. It was not good.
They don't let you see what the flavor is. You have to try it.
Yeah.
And then you can know what the flavor is. It's hit or miss. You never know what you're getting.
Somebody said that I should try candy corns with mini pretzels. It's a sweet and salty combo. Ooh. I don't know. I just don't like. I like sweet, but not candy corn sweet. I don't eat the smell of them. Ooh.
It might be the waxy, like it's that waxy.
Yeah,
weird,
I just don't know. I don't know.
I don't know, but I'll take it.
Okay, let me share with you guys how we're gonna glitter these little bits now that they're on our card. So we're gonna glitter the bubbles in a minute, but the same reason why we didn't glitter the flies right away, we did wet adhesive, so we need to give that time to like set so it doesn't move around on us. But the flies have been sitting a while. So what I'm gonna do is I'm going to add a little bit of quickie glue pen to the wings of my flies. And then I use the cap on the back of my pen like a scoop. And I'm only going to take up a teeny bit of glitter. You don't need a lot. And you just put it over the fly's wings. See that? And then I just tap it off. And so that's how I add glitter to things that are really teeny tiny. I do it once it's on the card. And I just do one little image at a time. You don't want to be putting, dumping, tons of glitter everywhere on your card, because that's when it starts to get messy. And my goal in life is to make sure everybody knows that glittering all of the things doesn't need to be messy. Oh my gosh. I love this card.
It's so fun. The glittery cauldron like makes it for me.
Well, my favorite is actually the flies.
Oh my gosh, the flies are. Oh yeah. Oh, I'm sorry. I'm on the other card. Yeah, I got distracted. Oh my gosh.
I'm like, there's no glittery cauldron, but I love the glittery cauldron one too. But I don't know.
Yeah, that's what I started. I was just doing my
bubbles.
I have my laptop out, so I'm just using some stickles, which also looks really great.
Yep.
I start running. I don't have a lot of space right where I'm crafting, so I've learned from the last Create With Us is that I usually end up doing the stickles instead of the Prisma glitter, just so I don't knock it over.
I hear you. And the bubbles, I just added a little bit as well, because glitter all of the things. So cute.
So cute.
And that, my friends, is our 2
oh my goodness
cards. I don't want to call them Halloween cards. One's a Halloween card and one is a friendship card.
Look at that.
Oh my gosh, I love them. They're so cute. They are so cute. I love it. Danielle says Jen's way of glittering is the only glittering I can handle. Whoop, whoop.
Yes.
Heather's
I know. I love
the
Prisma
I love
glitter.
it.
I will say that the glue with the Prisma glitter has a different look than stickles. They're 2 different things to me.
For sure.
Yeah. I like that everyone's got all sorts of candy corn tips of how to eat it. And people have also hot takes on pumpkin things or not, which I love. I love hearing who likes, I have because sometimes pumpkin stuff can taste like you're eating a candle.
Yeah.
But then sometimes it's delicious because it's like spicy and cinnamony and clovey and all that.
I love pumpkin. I hate a pumpkin spice latte.
Oh, that's funny because you love sweet
I
so
love
much.
sweet, and there's something about it. It tastes too artificial. There's something about a pumpkin spice latte that I just can't do. And I love everything pumpkin.
So while I see that the poll ended, so Team Candy Corn won. Wah, wah, wah. But while we're wrapping up, if you don't mind, I'm just going to remind you guys that I have some really awesome online cards coming up. If you are creating along with us tonight, or maybe you're now Genabled and you're going to purchase the Sweet Spiders stamp set, you will definitely want to join me in No Tricks, All Treats. We are going to make 3 more cards. You also get 2 bonus card ideas, coloring guides, more tips and tricks. Even though it says no tricks, there's always tricks in my classes. And then Shari and I will be teaching Harvest Friends. We're so excited that Mr. Harvest has a friend. We're so excited. So excited. And then I'll be also teaching Butterfly in the Sky with the Little Woodland Library set, which is just the sweetest set ever. So we're going to have a lot of fun in that. And then also quickly, just a reminder, I'll be doing 2 in-person classes this fall. I'll be at Scrappy Chic in Michigan and Papercraft Clubhouse in Connecticut. And these classes are exclusive to these 2 stores. They are not any other cards that I've taught in online or tonight or even at the trade show that we were at in Vegas. So they're all new designs for those of you that will be with me in person. Registration is open for the in-person classes. And of course, because they're in person, there is limited seats available. So just keep that in mind. But online classes, there is tons of space and it's unlimited. So plenty of time to sign up for those. All right. Yay.
Oh, I love it. And if you guys are going to be attending either virtually or in person, let us know because that's super exciting. And I'm so glad that you guys have joined us today. It's been so much fun to get our Halloween craft on. I'm so excited. I'm excited to make some kind of Halloween crafts for Miles's friends. So I'm excited to maybe we'll get some cute Sweet Spiders cards going for them because that'd be just adorable.
Yay. I love it. Some people already have their homework done for our Harvest Friends class. I love it. That's awesome. Lori signed up for class at Papercraft Clubhouse. Woo woo. All right. I'm actually looking at the chat. I feel like I was not good at looking at the chat tonight. Thank you guys so much. I'm glad that you enjoyed these cards.
So much fun. Oh, we were talking about pumpkin spice. I do have a pumpkin spice tip though. If you make a hot chocolate and you put pumpkin pie spice in it, it's really good. So that's you're not super in, you like the pumpkin sort of, but don't want the super sweet. Chocolate kind of. It's actually.
I might like that. I'd have to try that for sure.
Yeah. It's yummy. I do that all the time, but I always make hot chocolate because I don't drink coffee, not because I don't like it, but because I am naturally all the time
naturally amped up.
I don't need more amping than I already am. So I just do hot chocolate. So I always find ways to make it kind of fun.
Oh, that's funny. I did notice a few of you guys joined late. No worries. You can go back and watch the replay. Maybe tonight you were just sitting back and relaxing, but now you're Genabled to buy some new supplies. You can always come back to this video and rewatch it. And remember, there is a handout for you guys on the Create With Us page. The website's in the grass underneath us here on the screen. I'm sure Shari or Rebecca will throw that in the chat. I think it's pinned at the top of the chat. If you're watching the replay, it's in the description of the video too.
It is pinned at the top too.
Oh, thank you. I couldn't remember. I can only see lawnfawn.com, so I was assuming that's what was pinned.
And then also let you guys know that starting on, I'm looking for the date here, September 18th is Inspiration Week. We'll be featuring the holiday and winter products from this release. So on the 18th, we have our big giveaway post. So you definitely want to check that out because it's an awesome giveaway. And then we'll be having intro videos, amazing design team samples, and all sorts of gorgeous things using things like Cheesy Christmas and Frosty Family. We'll have a ton of little surprises in there too to have more inspiration for that awesome interactive die. And so we're so thrilled about that. Someone asked when the next release was. Oh my goodness. Well, it's not till December because we are going to be working on all of these amazing Halloween, fall, holiday, and winter cards. So definitely keep checking out our blog, our Instagram for lots of inspiration, of course, our YouTube channel here, because we're going to have a ton of stuff, and Inspiration Week is going to be a blast starting on the 18th.
And I also want to remind you, I almost forgot to say this, which Shari is going to shake her head at me, because we did a lot of teamwork behind the scenes today in lawnfawn land, but the next Create With Us is going to be November 8th, and it's going to be using the Cheesy Christmas stamp set. And the handout is available for download. I busted my butt to make sure it was done for tonight. And Shari and Jess and Melissa and everybody was helping behind the scenes get it all up on the website. So you guys can go over to the Create With Us page. You can download the handout. If you really liked the concept where you can play along with us, you've got plenty of time to prepare because it's not until November 8th. And we can't wait. We'll make some really cute holiday cards.
Yes, and this isn't necessarily the card that we're going to be making, but it's Cheesy Christmas themed using the Swivel Surprise. Oh, there's the cards. Oh my gosh, they're so cute.
I know. Kelly hasn't even seen them yet.
I haven't even seen them yet.
I literally looked at them. I'm like, oh,
They're so cute.
Cards.
But yeah, the Cheesy Christmas set is so cute with the cute little cheese Christmas tree. I just love it. So, and of course, making Swivel Surprises with it is so much fun too.
Yep, and Shari's reminding me that it is already scheduled on lawnfawn's YouTube channel. So after we end our live right now, you can go on over there, click the live tab, you'll find it, and you can choose to be notified so that you'll be reminded, because November 8th is a very long time away. Also that's scheduled there under live is Shari and our next Adventures in Card Making, which is October 30th. So you can click the little notify me on that video as well. Because we know how busy everybody is. It's nice to have those little reminders to pop up. It's kind of like fun. You might forget, and then you're like, oh my gosh, I get to go hang out with everybody in lawnfawn land.
Amazing.
Yeah. Awesome. Well, and we hope that you will share with us what you created tonight. Again, it does not need to be exactly what we created. We just want to see what fun you had in your crafty space. Make sure you tag lawnfawn. Feel free to tag me as well, Jen Shirkus. You can see that below us here on the screen. We just want to see what you're working on because it's so fun, and I find it so inspiring to see what you guys are working on.
Yes, for sure. We cannot wait to see all of your crafty stuff, all of your fun Sweet Spiders cards, and anything else that you've been creating too. We talked about earlier to make sure to tag at lawnfawn to make sure we can see it. And then the hashtag is really great to follow too. But by tagging us, it really makes sure that we actually see your gorgeous creations. So, and you can also enter our Lawn Fanatics challenges, which is another fun way to share all of your creations with other people who love to craft too.
Yeah, lots and lots of inspiration. Again, we just love that you guys are here and hanging out with us in happy lawnfawn land. Oh, this is actually my crafty gear that I sell. So this is over on my website. You can check that out. Thank you, Shari or Rebecca.
That's Shari. Shari beat me to every link. I stopped linking.
She's so good. She's so good. She's like Brienne. Brienne is real quick too. Brienne always helps me during my lives.
Yeah. I quit. Shari wins.
Awesome. Anything else we need to chat about, Miss Kelly?
I think that's it. We're just excited to see you guys again soon for Adventures in Card Making and for Create With Us, of course, at Jen's classes, whether virtual or in person. And then during Inspiration Week, we do things called YouTube premieres, which is a live typed out while the video is playing. Those are really, really fun. So make sure to join us for those. We'll post more information about when those will be. But we're really excited about those too. And it's just fun because we get to chat while we watch the brand new video for all of the new holiday and winter items.
I love those. I try to make those. I'm usually working in my evening office, which is on the couch when I get all my blog writing. So I always set up the notify me on the channel for those as well, and I love it because I'm like, ooh, I get to go chat with all my friends.
Yeah, it's really, really fun. I highly recommend it, and we're just so grateful for you guys. Thank you for crafting with us, for creating with us, because this is just so much fun.
Yeah, happy Friday the 13th. We didn't have any major catastrophes. I'm really proud of us for that.
Yeah, great.
And we will see you